I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Jonny Smith.
And this is On the Other Side of Things, the Smith & Sniff spin-off in which we answer your questions.
Welcome to the Otosot. Welcome.
Here we are again.
To the place.
Questions to be answered. And I'm going to start with one from a listener in, as he describes it, the Philly suburbs.
Oh.
Which I assume means Philadelphia and not... don't know.
Well, I don't know.
There's nowhere that starts with a Phil in the UK, is there? Anyway, Mike Esser is his name, and he seems to be in Philadelphia. His question is simply, what's your most interesting petrol station store purchase? For context, he says, I left my local gas station store with this classy perfume, Latafa Sheikh Hayuka.
What?
Perfumed spray. Yeah, Sheikh Hayuka. I think it's pronounced like that. What does His Highness the Sheikh smell like, you ask? Like a concentrated bar of matured Axe body spray, says Mike.
Oh,
Not
nice.
More distinguished or refined with the years, just older. Crumbled into the finest musky powder and then shot straight into your nose holes. If DJ Khaled was a body spray, this one is telling the world we the best. And Mike says he's going to spray his balls with it. So it is, and he sent a picture. It is quite a. It's a gold capped can, but then it has Luxe Edition written down the side, and there's a sticker that shows it cost $4.99. I don't think I've ever bought anything like really brilliant or weird from a petrol station, but I did once on the way to. Maybe it was Radwood a couple of years ago. I stopped for petrol, and then in the petrol station there were some extremely terrible, like 80s sales rep glasses with blue lenses for like £5, and I just bought them on the spot, an impulse purchase, because I was like, oh well, I'm going to Radwood, these will fit in perfectly. And then on the way there I looked at myself in the rearview mirror and realised I looked such a flute that I was too embarrassed to actually wear them at the event, and I've never worn them, and they're in the drawer somewhere.
Really? Oh no, you should. But yeah, for some reason, you and I, it's the same as my brother. If there's two things that will always make you quite laugh, it's either ill-fitting trousers or terrible glasses. It's two things which will always get a giggle every time. I've probably said it before, but I stopped at a German truck stop many years ago when we were filming some kind of road trip for Fifth Gear. I don't remember what. And we stopped at this German truck stoppy services, and it had so many accessories for sale. I know, listeners, you're thinking I bought adult material. I didn't. I ended up buying a huge chrome silhouette of a lady that's meant to be bolted to the grille of a truck. And it's still in the box, and I've never put it on anything. I was going to put it on a car because it's so oversized for a car grille, it would just look ludicrous. And I've never put it on anything, to the point where perhaps I should just gift it to somebody. Maybe I'll bring it to the upcoming Otlot show and have it as stage set / gift.
I think you should.
Yeah, because it's quite big and the chrome is amazing. You know the ones where the lady's got flyaway kind of Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yes, I'm familiar with them. So that's a good.
I bought one of those. Yeah, I bought one of those. I think I bought a Krista Berg CD once to put in a friend's car without him knowing, because it was about £1.10 in a basket, and it was just like, yeah, that's going in.
Have you ever bought? This doesn't really happen anymore because of streaming and things, but back in the day, when you've ever bought a CD or a tape from a petrol station because you've realised you haven't got any CDs or tapes with you on a long trip, and you're like, fuck it, I'll just and so you go, like the best of the Rolling Stones or something like that. Oh, I'll get that. That'll be nice. That'll get me a few miles further. Yeah. And then it hasn't got any of the proper hits on it.
I bought one of those ones where it was James Bond theme tunes, but it was done by a no-name orchestra.
Oh, yes.
So, they're kind of they're kind of James Bond theme tunes, but they're not the original recording. So you listen to it a little bit frustrated. So I've got that somewhere. I've still got it. Maybe I'll bring that to an lot as well, because I don't bloody want it. I don't know why I've still got it.
Well, you must have turned up, having moved house recently, you must have had quite a sort of turnover of tat. It sort of brought some new tat to the surface.
It really has. Yeah, it really has. I think the CD that I remember, without wanting to go down too far down this refuel station bargain section, I bought when CDs sometimes got lost from their main sleeves and they were just put into a see-through sleeve, and and they were extra bargains because they're obviously incomplete.
Yeah,
I remember buying a Best of Bruce Springsteen CD for £1, and it's still one of my favourite CDs. So there we go. That one lived in. I forget which car that one lived in, but it lived in it for years. It might have been my old Mercedes 123 that was 4 different colours. Bloody loved that for a road trip. Good CD, that.
Good.
Well, okay. I've got a letter from a chap called Ryan Bryson. Hi, Flutes. Looking forward to seeing you at Festival of the Unexceptional. Well, he sent this to us quite some time ago.
Oh, you don't say.
He said, me and my mate will be making the journey up from Kent and will hopefully be listening to the podcast on the way up on that side of things. I have previously sent this in with no response. Oh, well,
gosh.
Look, we're coming around to it. Can you guys help my friend Aaron try and choose a new daily driver, please? He's a massive, indecisive ham wallet and has been unable to find a car for what seems like forever. He's got around £15,000 budget. That's a lot. And requires the following criteria. Ideally, nothing small, as he quite fancies something roomier, but also nothing too big, Goldilocks spec. So no hatchbacks or SUV gash crossovers. Saloons and also estates encouraged. Good on fuel, as it's going to be used for a smallish commute for work, 10 to 30 miles. Petrol or diesel, but ULEZ friendly. Something newer, as anything old terrifies him due to thinking anything older than 10 years old is going to fall to pieces the moment he hands over any money. Around 2 litres, as he feels anything bigger might be problematic in potential maintenance or insurance. Spanish waiter spec preferred, as he seems to be scared of potential automatics due to never driving one before. He wants something that looks cool or has the potential to look cool, possibly through the addition of some nicer wheels or a bit of lowering and spaces on that side of things. The Unicorn needs to be fun to drive and capable of some serious B-road helmsmanship. Here's his previously owned cars, just to give you an idea of what his tastes are like. Fiesta Z-Tech, Vectra SRI, 2.2 Vectra SRI, believe, 1.6 Fiesta ST, 1.6 Fiesta ST Mountune, RX-8 Sade spec, 1.44 Astra SXI. His attainable dream car being the Vectra B GSI, but doesn't want one yet, as he's certain he'd want to get a garage first. God, he wants a Vectra GSI. Interesting.
He's not a full Vauxhall loyalist because there's some Fords in there. That's quite confusing.
Yeah.
I know you don't have to pick a side. It's just, I suppose, many people do.
Yeah. This is great. So he says, I've been a listener to your podcast for about 6 months, managed to listen on average 3 hours to the back catalogue every day. Wow.
No,
Ryan,
that's too much.
Yeah, it is too much. Ryan, thank you very much.
Recommend you don't do that.
And he said, please keep doing what you do before our towns turn into no suspension for mountain bike guys everywhere. Right, so this is quite a difficult question. So he wants, I'm just going to go back, he ideally wants a Manuel gearbox. He wants a saloon or an estate, or maybe a big coupe, who knows. He wants newer than a decade.
There was no sort of stipulation about it can be a coupe, just no hatchbacks or
no, I think
SUVs, but really sounds like a saloon.
Yeah, or if it was a coupe, it'd be a big one with a large boot that's quite capacious throughout.
They sort of don't really exist anymore, do they? Because a few years ago, you could have said like 406 coupe or something like that, but
they're not around.
I don't know why the Mazda 6 suddenly sprung to mind. I think it's because I think they're quite nice looking.
They are, and the Mazda 6, is it Sport, or MPS? They were fast, really fast.
Well, would they be too old now?
Are they more than a decade?
I was thinking of the current shape, just because I find them a very, very pleasant-looking car, and you could easily get one of those for 15 grand budget.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. If he likes his Vectras, surely he's going to appreciate a Mondeo. He could get one of the last of the Mondeos.
Yes.
He could be one of those guys who really celebrates the outgoing legend that is.
I suppose the question is, do you want one of the last Mondeos?
I kind of miss them.
But then, all right. So what's going on in Vauxhall Land then? Why? What could we not? The Insignia, the last Insignia?
Yeah, the ones that got turbo written on the boot.
I sometimes see those late Insignias. I've never driven one. It's quite a big car, isn't it?
They're big. They're very roomy. I think it's one of those cars that probably people ignore unfairly. Because of
I sometimes just see them around.
Yeah,
and I always think, I wonder. I mean, that might be quite a nice car.
Yeah,
I bet it's very relaxing.
Oh, I bet it absolutely is relaxing.
But that's the thing. I mean, I couldn't say either way what they're like. But if you are a bit of a Voxist,
he wants something that's Helmsman-y, which is
okay. So that's all right.
So I don't know whether it would tick that box.
Wait, though, hang on.
What?
Wasn't there a twin turbo 4-wheel drive version of that Insignia? Which, who knows? It might be quite.
Is that well, it could be. Is it ULEZ compliant? Bloody hell, I'd say.
Well, it won't be that old, so I would think so, because it's petrol. So no, I'm pretty confident that the ULEZ bit will be fine. It's just, it is obviously quite a big car, and I can't vouch for how sporty it is, but the ingredients there, pretty sure it was like, sort of quite tasty spec on paper. Were they manual though?
I can't remember. I keep thinking about Subarus.
Oh.
Well, a lot of them are manual, and a lot of them are saloons or estates. And they're predominantly fun to hustle because of the grip level, and they're normally quite taut in the chassis department.
Yes, I'd have a sort of nice mechanical gear shift as well, if that's your thing.
Yeah, they would. And he's not going to be too offended by the dashboard, I would say. So there could be a Subaru that's lurking, couldn't there?
Yeah.
And I don't mean a Tribeca or whatever that one is that.
But just to go slightly in a different direction.
Go on then, I dare you.
15 grand is going to get you into some kind of Civic Type R that might be, if you want to lean into the sportiness.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely manual gear shift.
Yeah, would actually. That's a very good point. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Is there any other Honda? The Accord would have ended by then, wouldn't they? A big engined Accord?
You would. When did they end? Was it within 10 years?
I want to say it was mid-2000s.
Maybe just catch a tail-end Accord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a quietly satisfying car, not necessarily a sporty one, but it'd be
I flipping love Accords, estates.
Pleasant.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Let's have a little look here. I'm going to just go see what's the most expensive Accord you could get. Oh my goodness. Totally distracted by the fact there's a 1989 Accord, absolutely immaculate, but it's up for £30,000. That's too much.
Also, he said
Accords in budget.
If he's got the idea of adding wheels and maybe light lowering, an Accord estate would look so good, so damn good. Well,
yeah, and you could sort of go. There's probably lots of JDM bits for it.
Oh, hell.
Just for context, though, price-wise, if you set a max budget of 15 grand for a Civic Type R, then you end up with, you could get one of the sort of spaceshipy look ones. And that would look quite nice. Or the bread van one as well. Loads of those around in budget.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a sort of a platter of suggestions there. I mean, that's a solid budget and a fairly broad remit. So
yeah.
I don't know. We haven't even got into the state of Astras for that kind of money, and whether that's something, because it feels like it's something that Ryan's friend might enjoy because he likes Astras, but it's a Vauxhall.
The fact that he wanted a manual, I would have suggested a Jaguar. Because a Jaguar would have ticked so many of those boxes in terms of being able to hustle, being comfortable, being rewarding, and all that stuff, but no manual gearbox available.
Yeah, unless you got some kind of X-type manual, but I'm not sure that...
Under 10 years old, good luck with that.
10 years old, yeah. No, let's just probably... No, let's just...
But try a Jag, because there's some phenomenal bargains in the Jag department.
Well, yeah, I was thinking the other day, I feel like I'm seeing a lot of XFs, first-gen XFs around now that have been sort of slightly monkeyed with in a fairly crude way and seem to be driven by people who...
Of ill repute?
Have a heavy foot in urban areas. And I just go, is it because they're quite a bit of flash for the cash now, those early X-types, and or XFs rather, and they still look good?
Yeah, it's a bit like when I was 24 driving around in my XJ40 4-litre SOV.
Yes.
I would have just been a bit of a dick, but I had a cheap 4-litre SOV, so that's that. End of.
Yeah. End of.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got an email here from a listener called Jack, who... he starts with a very... unusual opening salvo. He says, what is the most pervy design feature you like on a car? I like how the rear of a car hangs over the rear axle. For example, the extreme rear overhang of a Ford Cortina Estate gets me going.
Oh, I know.
Love the way the rear clings on for dear life. What's your strangest guilty pleasure of car design?
That reminds me of the side window of Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escort Estates, where the side window just goes on for approximately 12 metres. It just goes on and on and on and on, and I kind of like that.
It's like an old mate of mine who always swore that he had an uncle. He was called something like Uncle Reg.
Yeah.
And Uncle Reg's claim to fame was that he had a Cortina Estate, but which he'd heavily modified by the sounds of it. And my mate Dan always claimed that Uncle Reg's Cortina Estate had windows from a train carriage in the back.
What?
And I always thought that train carriage windows are actually massive, aren't they? Because train carriages are much bigger than cars.
Yeah.
He always claimed that Uncle Reg had got some cheap train windows from somewhere and put them into his Anyway, we digress. Jack's main question is, he says, I'm writing this sat on a train to Newbury to look at a Fiat Cinquecento Sporting.
Oh.
I'm trying to justify to myself that the Sporting is a cool Italian baby warm hatch. I'm not concerned about the lack of power. I've just passed my 27th year and feel I care more about the experience and thought behind a car these days. Have I piqued my relationship with cars too early? Am I having a midlife car crisis? Please share your automotive wisdom. Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Bye, Jack. I don't think so.
I mean, I'm just trying to think your question, though. Pervy feature.
You're still stuck on that?
Yeah. I am, because I think it is certain lines, usually haunch lines, but also very resolved, pleasing alloy wheels. And they're few and far between these days, but one that I saw the other day that I thought looked exceptional was on an Alfa Romeo Stelvio.
Okay.
And it had the huge clover-leafy teledial type wheels. I don't remember their exact name. And they were black inside, and the faces were gold.
Oh.
And it was quite a new car, so I don't think it had been done on the aftermarket. I think it might have been as spec'd. And it looked fantastic. I think those wheels are great. Anyway, I really like them. And I always thought the Volvo 850 T5R it was one of the first alloy wheels I remember being gunmetal grey rather than silver. And they're very simple 5-spokes. You'll know the ones I mean.
Yes.
Quite oblong, same
simple.
as first-gen Audi TT had the very chunky 5-spoke, and they look great. They're very confident, simple wheel. I do like a confident, simple wheel. I think one of the most pervy, sexy shapes is the front wing of my 68 Dodge Charger, because it bows out in about 3 different planes. It's concave on the top, it bows out on the side, and then it tucks in somewhere else. It's got so many different interesting depressions and bows in it. I just flipping love it. And I do, in a non-pervy way, run my hand over it quite a lot. But it's not pervy, okay?
You're all adults. You can do that.
Yeah.
To answer the other bit of Jack's question, no, I don't think you have it in midlife crisis. Fiat Cinquecento Sporting, no, modern classic. But
enjoy it.
I suppose his point about caring more about the experience and thought behind a car is just, that's just, with age comes wisdom. So, I think you're just appreciating cars in a slightly more thoughtful way rather than just going all out for power and looks and newness. And so, no, I would say crack on. In fact, I would let us know if you did, in fact, buy the Cinquecento.
I'm with you on that. And I was doing a review the other day on a certain car, and I used the term, what would you rather have? Would you rather have speed or the sensation of speed? And I think the latter is becoming more and more satisfying and relevant as we go into this non-stop power struggle of modern performance cars.
Preaching to the choir, my friend. I've got a Honda Beat, so a sensation of speed without any actual speed is a very familiar.
Hey guys, the sensation of speed. Actually, your Beat is with its midship excitement or whatever it says on the side of it.
Amusement, midship amusement.
Sorry, it leads straight into this letter from a chap or a lady, I don't know, called Jay Milligan. Hi Piccolos, full stop. I recently purchased a brand new Volvo which happens to have a turbocharged engine but no word on the exterior pertaining to said snail. Having grown up in the 80s, I'm of the firm belief that cars that have turbos should be required to have a badge, emblem or decal somewhere with the word turbo proudly visible to the public so everybody knows about it. Turbo Metro, anyone, Richard? I also believe that if the car is not turbocharged, it should absolutely not be called a turbo under any circumstances. Hello, Porsche Taycan. But I digress. As I did with my turbocharged Honda, which similarly somehow did not proclaim its boosted nature from factory, I started looking on eBay for turbo emblems that I could apply to my new whip to right this wrong. My son bought me a lovely Honda script emblem in red, which added 5 to 10 horsepowers to the otherwise extremely mediocre CRV. Obviously, the font and style is incredibly important, and I'm debating between the 240's black rectangle with turbo on it for the 740 big letters. Anyway, I digress once again, because my question relates to another word Volvo used to badge their fine automobiles with, and that would be intercooler. Intercooler, exclamation mark, intercooler, or even in italics. What a thing to have in your car. As a kid, I thought that word was amazing, though I had no idea what intercooling really was, and it engendered deep shame and want in a young soul whenever I looked at our non-turbocharged, non-intercooled Pontiac with no interesting words on it whatsoever. I remember other GM products bragging about their dual overhead cams, DOHC, but our family car had a meagre single overhead cam, and that wasn't badge worthy whatsoever. I could only dream of having an intercooler. So my question to SSGs is this: what is the most mundane, silly or obscure car part manufacturer's badge and broadcast to the world that you've ever seen? Has anyone ever written distributor on a hot hacks, or has a huge emblem for lower control arms or coolant expansion tank on a coupe? Have you ever felt the need to badge your own cars with some part name to let the world know that your vehicle is properly equipped with it? And what words would you apply to the Eagle Quest, the Beat, or any of your other rides? Please advise. CMTMB. It's an interesting one, because I do remember the intercooler. I remember Catalyst, which also was a Volvo thing, wasn't it?
Well, I think, did Volvo not go even further with sort of obscure things that nobody really had a clue what they were? They had Lambda Sonde.
Oh, yeah.
As a badge to show the cars had a Lambda sensor, which is like, it always felt really puzzling to me that they would go to the trouble of making a badge for that.
I agree, but it sounded always more like a cabaret singer, didn't it, really?
Yes.
You can imagine a very long flowing silk gown.
Yes. Yeah. I think plays cruise ships as they pass through the fjords of Norway.
Completely.
The Lambda Sonde.
Quick now. Head to the lower deck lounge. Lambda Sonde's going to be on for the sunset soiree. Yeah.
I do. Wasn't there a period? I feel like Vauxhall in this country has a quite a good heritage of badging up things which are a bit too technical for people to know or care about. Didn't they have twin port at one point?
That rings a bell.
No one cares. That's just nonsense. And I think they also did intercooler badges for a while. Possibly on turbo diesels.
Yeah. What's the name on the 24 valve Senators? Was it dual ram?
Oh,
dual ram induction or dual ram something?
Was that not written on the engine though? Was it on the tailgate on the boot as well?
No, it was on the engine cover. You are right. Which again, I do quite like things written on the engines. If it's proclaimed nicely.
I'm sure there was something else that Vauxhall did on Astras that was really arcane, and you just went, nobody knows what this is unless they're a car nerd. I don't know why you're boasting about it. It just feels like they had to put something on the badge, so it would say plug leads. You go, yeah, we know. You're fine. You don't need to put that there. Something stupid. Like that.
Well, fuel injection was always the really 80s one, wasn't it? Because, of course, that was when there was a lot of transition between carb and injection.
Yes. And likewise, when 16 valve became a real selling point.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But it did seem genuinely exciting, the Golf 16 valve and things like that just because it was unusual and seemed a genuine benefit. And I think I've said this before, but I remember being a kid. I must have been like 5 or 6 and being in the back of the car with my dad, and he spotted a few cars up ahead a brand new Capri 2.8 injection.
Oh.
And knowing that I was into cars, and he was as well, he said, "Oh, look, Richard, up front there's one of those new Capri injections, because it's got fuel injection." And I'd seen, I think, a picture of it in a car magazine, but not one in real life. It was very exciting. And I remember putting the window down a little bit and trying to smell the air from this Capri out the front, because in my head I was convinced that because it had fuel injection, the fumes from the Capri must smell different and more exotic.
How old? You were 5?
Yeah, maybe 6. When did that car come out? 81. I was probably like 6.
Wow, you remember that? That's a very early memory.
I really do. I could tell you exactly the bit of road it was on as well. It's like it was such
strange,
a vivid memory. Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember double overhead cam with early Japanese stuff, mostly DOHC, because I didn't really know what DOHC was for a while. But that was a thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, the Japanese, especially Japanese import stuff with all of the lists, that was always they're the kings of proclamations, decal proclamations, aren't they?
Yes, and inventing new acronyms for stuff.
Yeah,
just. What was? Here's a good one. With the Honda Civic Shuttle with real-time four-wheel drive written down the side.
Oh yeah, real-time. Yeah,
real-time.
Yes,
as opposed to what? Like a pre-recorded four-wheel drive system? I don't know.
Yeah, phoning it in four-wheel drive.
If you've got any thoughts on weird car badges from the past, hello@smithandsniff.com is the address.
Yeah, I tell you what I'd like on the back of our Eagle Quest. You often used to get V6, but you would never get a badge saying straight 6.
That's a good point.
So you'd proclaim the V, but not the straight.
No, that's a good point.
I would like straight 6 written on the back of our car, please.
Well, I mean, in the world of 3D printing, I'm sure somebody could make you a straight 6 badge in a kind of authentic 80s, 90s GM Europe font.
Oh, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? And I could let in some bright red ink into the recessed sections. With some straights in it. All
right, well, on that saucy thought, it's time to bring this to a close, but we'll answer more questions next Friday. Normal show on Monday. Until then, goodbye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, please.